Bienvenidos! What's good? Hello friends, as you guys can see from the titulo today we are going to talk about hyped up palettes. And I shouldn't say makeup because I'm not doing a lot of categories. It's more eyeshadow palettes. Eyeshadow palettes that were hyped up in 2023 that I did not purchase, and I'm kind of happy I did not purchase them. So there's a ton, but I narrowed it down to 8. I will be posting photos up on the screen, so if you did not even know these existed or were released, you are now well aware of it. I like to do this because I looked through the whole year on Instagram to see what palettes were released, to remember what was released, because there's so much and the market is so saturated that sometimes we forget literally what was released last week because something new has come out this week. It's a shame because I really miss when makeup brands would release things seasonally, because it allowed you to have 3 to 4 months to be able to play around with items and see if you even wanted something new. Now it's literally, it's a rat race, and if you're not involved in the rat race, you're basically out of the loop. So if you're interested to see what eyeshadow palettes I'm going to be talking about today, stay tuned. Now these are in no particular order, and I want to make it clear that if you did purchase these and you love these or you have them on your wish list, please do not get offended or feel bad or reconsider it. Everyone's preferences are different. This is why there's so many different varieties out there for each and every one of us. Some palettes that I might love that you may not love so much. So it goes both ways, and I don't want you to think because I'm roasting some of these eyeshadow palettes that you are doing something wrong by wanting them or purchasing them on your own. So just wanted to give you guys a heads up. Do you, boo, do you. Now that I've gotten that lipstick off my teeth, who knows how long it's been on there, let's start out with the first eyeshadow palette. The first one is this, it was a Sigma Beauty and Nook eyeshadow palette. I forgot this was released, and this never interested me. I never cared about the color arrangement that she did. I know she was trying to do cool tone and warm tone with this, but for me, this was a total skip. I'm glad I skipped it. It was hyped up. Everyone was talking about it because she is a great makeup artist, but this just wasn't my cup of tea. I don't know. Even looking at it now, I'm just like, what? I don't want to say too much because I don't want to offend anyone, but I just don't like it. I don't think it's pretty at all. Sorry, so happy that I did not get this one. Up next is this one. This is the Blend Bunny Halloween 2023. This is the Sickly Sweet collection. Now, she came out with an eyeshadow palette. Main reason why I didn't even consider this one. One, I haven't tried Blend Bunny, and if I am going to try Blend Bunny, it's going to be a different eyeshadow palette than this one. 2, I don't do pastels as much. I am very limited with pastels and like grays and blues in my collection that I really got to think it through, and this is just not something that I could see myself reaching for. I have the ice cream palette from Glamlight that was given to me by a friend of mine here, and that alone serves my purpose of what this eyeshadow palette is serving. I just don't. The mumbo jumbo situation doesn't bother me. I know a lot of people had a problem with her finally mixing up the shades and it not being cohesive in rows or columns. For me, this is not a problem. I don't have a problem looking at this and be able to come up with creative looks. It's more of the color story. I don't think of Halloween with this, to be honest with you. I think of spring. I think of Easter. I think of cotton candy and little chicks running around and bunnies and eggs, that kind of stuff. I don't think of Halloween with this one. And I'm kind of glad I skipped this one. And I really didn't see many people, at least the people that I watch that do love Blend Bunny, purchase this one. So I think this was a total miss for her, unfortunately, and for me. All right, next up, you guys know my fascination with Natasha Denona. So I have 2 on here that I want to share with you guys. First is the mini Trichrome palette. When I think of the Trichrome palette, I always think of the purples and the greens that are in there. Why did she decide to go the blue route? I have no idea. And I really thought about it because of that duochrome, but the more I thought about it, I'm like, 1, again, here comes with the blues. I don't reach for blues as often as other people do, so this isn't my cup of tea. 2, the duochrome is still a blue. It's not really like something that I would want to wear, and it's a quint, and that's even more difficult for me to incorporate in looks because I don't have a lot to play around with. I would always have to reach for another palette. So for the price, I was like, you know what? I am skipping out on this one. I am not even going to try to get it. It's pretty, and I would use it, but it would be like once every 3 years. So why am I spending money on a palette that I know I can get the same shades out of something else? So it's pretty, don't get me wrong. It's pretty, it did attract me, but it's just not something I would use often. So I'm kind of happy I saved my money on this one. It is limited edition, but I really don't care. That does not give me FOMO no mo. The other one I want to talk about is her Xenon, I think that's how you say, Xenon palette. This is way too gray. This is as much gray as I'm gonna wear, and it's gonna be on clothing because I don't do grays on my eyeballs. This was way too gray, and I automatically saw that when I first saw the pictures of it and the swatches. And then when I saw my peers purchase this and play around with it, I definitely saw it even more. It's very hard to wear this one as an everyday eye look unless you're going for this living dead kind of look. I don't know. It's just not me. Not me at all. But it's not my cup of tea. I didn't get the mini Xenon when she came out with it, and this one even less did I care for. There's a specific niche for this palette, and it ain't me. It ain't me. It's not gonna be. Up next is the Patrick Ta Dimension 3 palette. This was an all matte palette. I love the first two, and no, mine do not have mold. I check on them often. I don't know how people are getting mold, but mine hasn't got mold, and no, I did not buy mine on release, so maybe that could have been it. I don't know. But this one is an all matte palette, so you wouldn't have to worry about the mold situation because it seems like the mold's coming from his shimmers and not his mattes. His mattes are phenomenal. I love his formula. I genuinely do. But looking at this palette, I was this close to purchasing it, but looking at the palette, I am not somebody that reaches for an all matte palette often. And I do have a few, not a lot, but a few all matte palettes, and I still don't reach for them. So why am I gonna add one that's an expensive one to the mix, but don't reach for it? I'd rather reach for my Viseart one, the neutral matte one, the one that I still absolutely love to this day, and just go on and use that one. That's the main reason why I didn't buy this one. Not because of the quality, not because it didn't attract me, it's just I had to be realistic with myself, and it was hyped up, let me tell you. I mean, everyone loved it, and I would expect it because it's half of it is warm, half of it is cool. This is the right way for me to do half warm, half cool, because you can mix both colors. If I were to get this as a gift, I wouldn't be upset. But for me to spend the money on it, no, because of those reasons. It's just, I'm not going to reach for it as much to be able to say I got my money's worth. Maybe if this palette is still available in the next 15 years when I'm in my 60s, then I will consider it, because then that's when it'll be more appealing to me. But for right now, I'm good. I'm good. Okay, this collab with Odin's Eye. This is the Angelica Halloween ones. The second collab with Odin's Eye and her. She did a Halloween theme to it. I looked at these palettes, and I'm telling you, I just recently purchased from Odin's Eye again. And I was waiting all year for something. They did quite a bit of collabs. Different kinds of collabs. But never did any of them really catch my attention, and this one was by far the least. One, I still love color and I enjoy color, but I've gotten to a point where I don't use color as often as I did before, because now that I'm working, I can't really wear these bright shades all the time out to my workplace. I can wear them softly, but not all the time like I used to be able to. So it wouldn't be smart for me to purchase these knowing that I wouldn't reach for them, considering I already have colorful palettes in my collection that I'm not reaching for now. That was the one thing. Two, I don't care for the artwork. The artwork to me is not pretty. I'm being honest. I'm sorry if I'm offending anyone. To me, that's not pretty. That is not a pretty aesthetic thing to have on my table, out on my vanity, looking at it. It's just not, I don't do gory, scary, gothic. Like, that's just not me. There is a specific way you can do it where it looks pretty, but this just didn't appeal to me at all. At all. None of it. None of the shades, none of the artwork, nothing of it. And it was hyped up. Let me tell you, it was hyped up, and I just, no, not my aesthetic, not my thing. And these colors are over and over in my collection. Like I said, I already have them in palettes, so I don't need to buy more. I don't need to. Up next, you remember this one? This is the Clionadh Deep Sea Treasures eyeshadow palette. Okay, the shadows themselves are beautiful. I think that the eyeshadow palette had potential. It did have potential. Two reasons why I didn't get it. One, the main point of why I didn't buy this was the cost. This was so stupid expensive, it wasn't even funny. The Danessa Myricks Lightwork 4 palette from this holiday season brought a lot more shadows, and it's a brand I can trust. And with a discount, it's still cheaper than this eyeshadow palette. And this eyeshadow palette came with what, 8 shades? 8 shades, and if you didn't like one shade, good luck to you, because that's all you're getting. And 2, for the amount of money you are spending on this eyeshadow palette, I feel like the artwork looked like an elementary class did it. I'm sorry. Alter Ego comes out with better packaging aesthetic than this. I looked at it and I'm like, what in the world? That looks like a 6th grader drew it or something. A really good 6th grader drew it. I don't know. It had potential. The Menagerie Cosmetics has so much better artwork. Like that it didn't appeal to me. I'm just like, I would have rather her save me money on the packaging, put these in a bundle and sent them over to me. That would have helped me out a lot. I would have saved myself on the packaging, and I would have just wanted the single. I would have been happy with that. And then put the price to be like $80. Okay, I'm good with that. Then I think I would have been. It was like $10 a shadow. I would have been awesome with that. But this brand doesn't work that way, unfortunately. So I skipped out on it. Do I regret it? Nope, absolutely not. I don't think I would have reached for it at all. No. That artwork was terrible. I'm just saying it. Last but not least, this is the last Natasha Denona palette that it got some sort of hype, but not as much as the 1 and 2, and I'm kind of glad because I didn't really care for this one. This is the Natasha Denona. I think this came out at the beginning of the year. The Love Face palette, where she had the blush and highlighter and then the 5 shades. I have the first and second one. Adore those to death. This one I didn't care for. The pink, I just don't like these kind of pinks on me. I don't like them. I just don't like pink eyeshadow. I genuinely don't like pink eyeshadow. Will I incorporate it with other shades? Yes. Will I use it? But if it's an all pink themed palette, I don't like it. I just don't like it. I'm not reaching for it. I feel like I am my kids playing with makeup when it comes to this shade. There's other shades that I'd rather use on me. Not saying that they're gonna look terrible on me or it looks terrible on anyone else. It's just not my cup of tea. So when I saw this, and even on a discount this year, I still didn't care for it. I'm good with the 1 and 2, and I'm happy with the 1 and 2. All right, guys. Those are 8 eyeshadow palettes that I just roasted, unfortunately. Again, I don't have these. The quality seems to be really good. Obviously, Natasha has great quality. Cleona has a great following, has great quality. Odin's Eye, again, I haven't tried the new ones that I purchased, but I know that they have good quality, what I hear. So I'm not bashing these for the quality. I'm more so of the aesthetic of it, the price of it, what my personal preferences are, what I like in a palette, and what I am using and grabbing towards nowadays. If you purchased any of these, let me know what you think. Do you like them? Do you reach for them? Were they worth the hype? Because for me, they were not worth the hype, but there are some eyeshadow palettes that I have that you may have thought they're not worth the hype. So we all have different preferences, and I don't want anybody to get upset or offended by this. It's just, I didn't care for them. I didn't care to spend my hard-earned money on these, knowing what I know and knowing my own take on what I like in makeup. So that's all that I have for you guys. Please don't unsubscribe because of this. All right, you guys. I'm going to link these down in the description box. I'd love to hear your opinion on these. Thank you guys so much for watching. More videos on the screen for your enjoyment. Until then,